Aum Sairam. Hara Hara Shankara, Jaya Jaya Shankara. Episode 62. Shri Mahaswami, the Sage with Eyes of Light. The Diary of a Seeker of Truth, Dr.Serge Demetrian. Dear devotees, now we shall listen to the second part, fourth section of this divine book under the subtitle At the Shivasthana Ashram. Kanchipuram, Tuesday, 14th February 1972. After the marvels of the preceding days, today was a somewhat troubled day. This morning there was a non-dualistic meditation of 30 minutes, then some reading in French and in English. Bradley, the English philosopher, his thought comes near to Advaita. Bradley speaks even of the hope for the absolute. Is it theoretical or did he personally live this conviction? After a short nap, I woke up more tired as before. At Shivasthana, I was to face certain enemies from Madras. Nevertheless, this time Sri Mahaswami protected me, so I had not to worry. Sri Mahaswami seems to me an ocean of blinding light, barely covered by the clothes of the body. This one, who now writes and is generally known as me, is constituted only of islets of light. These surround the heart, an illuminated area in which shines continuously but with varying degrees a little Spatikalinga. As soon as the channels of the senses and especially the sight by which the Jivatman escapes to the exterior are closed, it is then that the nature of Sri Mahaswami can be exclusively felt. At Shivasthana, Sri Mahaswami stood behind the window door on the western side of the ashram. I came as near as he permitted. He had smooth features and, for me, he was transparent. With both his physical eyes largely open, his look slightly touched my face 2 or 3 times. At the very moment when I felt some tiredness, 2 visitors arrived. I left for a pradakshina. When I returned, although he was still behind the bars, I stood as paralyzed and could no more come nearer. Kanchipuram, Wednesday, 15th February 1972. Difficult start of an important day. In the night, however, I had a nice dream. Well, I was a butterfly or a white pigeon and I was running across a series of transparent bodies that did not create any resistance. Everything developed in a luminous and pleasing stage setting in pastel tones. A beautiful introduction for a day. As soon as I woke up, I was assaulted by a horde of thoughts and problems. In addition to small health worries, and also a letter arrived from my financial provider in Salem that stated my pension would be delayed. All in all, an after Mahashivratri reaction. I left for Shivasthana in the hope of a consolation, but on my way I met a funeral cortege. To avoid it, I was compelled to make a detour by a road that brought me to a reputed temple of Mahavishnu known as Yathotakari, the one who does what he is asked for. In the interior, Mahavishnu lay on the serpent Adisesha. There was no priest or visitor to be seen. The place is clean and possesses a good spiritual atmosphere. At Shivasthana, Sri Mahaswami was loudly talking with his ordinary voice, which was a beautiful voice to hear. He was inside the ashram, squatting behind the window door. For 2 hours he did not look at me even once. He even screened his eyes with his hand so that they could not be seen from one side. I satisfied myself by contemplating his hands and a little of the top of his head. I meditated alone for 30 minutes at the opening of the well. After plunging inside, it appeared that the tendency to come out of the body happened firstly through the left ear. I energetically opposed it and chose the vertical way towards the top of the head. Straight away there took shape a luminous track, a white luminous column in the axis of the body, and I came out like a little cloud through the top of the head. Sri Mahaswami, who had permitted it, organized and supervised at close quarters my enterprise and had the kindness to take charge of the empty shell of the body. He took the place, as usual, of everything that had been me, my body, and my mind. He did not stay for long. This one returned soon into the old body. There followed some magnificent reassuring ideas as regards the future. I do not know if they were only thought artifices crafted in the same breath of excitement due to the reintegration of the body. As long as a single thought still lingers with the illusion of the separation of Swamiji, and with it there is still an ego which considers itself as different from him, the possibility of doubt and suffering will persist. Kanchipuram, Thursday, 16th February 1972. Existence in itself. It was a horrible night. The nervous tension after Mahashivratri is still noticeable and it has to be discharged somehow. I came to know that after this festive day, it is appropriate to fulfill the following vows for 13 or 14 days. 3 baths daily, 3 pujas or meditations. By noon, one should eat only rice and milk, and in the evening, plain milk, and one should sleep on the earth. This time, I will follow this prescription for 1 week only. My old, long standing ability to discipline the body has gone astray or it has been lost. In my case, even as a student, I used to fast, and after 35 years, I even like to stop eating altogether. I used to live from time to time for a few days, up to 6 days only on water. Now, tiredness stops me from fasting for long periods. In the afternoon at Shivasthana, Sri Mahaswami came out immediately and stood 2 full hours behind the barred door. He pretended to listen and even commented upon a number of praise poems addressed to him by some devotees. But how subtle he is and how detached he is from certain overfulsome praises. He discreetly puts on a semblance of joy so as not to hurt the authors. Today, he talked with a powerful voice, although controlled, a voice from the throat. When he wants to bless in a certain manner with Vayu, one feels in the heart the luminous scented air. His voice is deeper, muted, and comes with effort. He stops speaking for a few seconds or more, taking into account the thickness of the wall to be pierced or to be destroyed. Otherwise, he speaks, listens, comments, cites from memory rare and complicated verses, and at the same time he works without one noticing it. Visitors come often asking for blessings or great blessings, just as they look for rice or oil at the grocery. Some do not bring even a flower or a fruit, but Sri Mahaswami sees no difference and blesses everybody by pronouncing Narayana. Sometimes he stays longer and looks intensely at those who do not even prostrate and treat him casually as if they were gawping at photos displayed at the entry of a cinema theater. Perhaps it is just that those are the ones that need his attention most. For a moment, my situation is far from being glorious. Headaches and base thoughts flock endlessly through my mind. One could ask oneself how it is that so many problems subsist even when one is by the side of Sri Mahaswami. Well, it is said that in the country where the mountains are taller, the valleys are deeper. This is the inflexible law of the transitory world, that as long as the absolute reality is not fully established, one cannot expect better. The work in me continued. The mud was not very dense, and once diluted, the mind became clear. 10 minutes before the end of the encounter, he directed me to approach him at an appropriate angle of some 2 meters. The last onlooker ran away hurriedly, almost afraid. Then only Sri Mahaswami bestowed the major blessing. He started with 2 or 3 looks, short but very firm, as if playing. I was standing with my pupils on the same horizontal plane as his, and I had to bend the head so as not to lose them. It was possible to touch the entrance area of this marvelous structure, the opening of his pupils, as it was materially luminous bar of 1 to 2 millimeters thick. Sri Mahaswami, when he wants to bless me through this special darshan, either keeps his head immobile in the best position, and it is for me to find out this parallel plane, or quite often it is he who discreetly moves his eyes or his head and directs himself on a plane aligned to the openings of my pupils. I immediately felt overcome by an immense happiness. The Purusha of my heart became white, bristling with rays. I started renouncing 5 times for each the 5 koshas, sheets of the transitory being, starting with the Annamaya kosha. When I finished, I was ready for another major blessing. Sri Mahaswami came back to the bar door on the western side and leaned his forehead and his nose on the iron structure in such a way as for his eyes to have an open field. He fixed his look intensely on me for at least 10 seconds. The night was well advanced and I could not clearly perceive his eyes. Still, I was able to guess 2 minute round bottomless pits which were surrounded by 2 powerful whirls. I do not know what he did, but at a definite moment he totally absorbed me in himself. I was empty and transparent, a little vapor without consistency. I could not speak about happiness. It was an indefinable condition, as there was nothing to define, nor someone for whom a definition was necessary. There was only a state of existence, intense, irrefutable, and total. The existence in itself, perhaps, or its extension. I stood in this way without moving 2 or 3 minutes. Strange! I was seeing him slowly moving away, turning round the corner and entering his room. How was I able to see him, as all my constituted forces seemed to have disappeared? After some time, I came back to my ordinary senses with no regret, but also without exultation, calmer, without headache, nor feeling of any effort. Devotees, we shall continue to listen at the Shivasthana ashram in the coming episode, bowing at the holy feet of the Gurus. Aum Sairam. Hara Hara Shankara, Jaya Jaya Shankara.